Alright, I just got on the South Mills River Trail at Turkey Pen Gap. Gonna check out the river and then come back and see about doing Turkey Pen Gap Trail. If there's a bridge across the river, I might continue on the Mullinax Trail and just scout that out. Never been to this section of Pisgah before. My previous car would not make it down that road. It's 2 miles down a forest road. It's pretty rough. It's only wide enough for one car. Pretty narrow in places. Be a little sketchy if another car is coming in your direction. But I made it with the Outback, no problem. Last car was low clearance, so it would definitely have some issues in some of the stretches of that road. Well, I made it down to the South Fork of the Mills River, and it's what I expected. The bridge would be all kinds of messed up from I'm assuming from the hurricane. I don't know if it was like that before, but one would assume that the hurricane did that when the water levels rose, and I guess it would have to be pretty high to do that though. But it was pretty bad all over western North Carolina, so it would be reasonable to assume that. You could ford that river easy. Get your feet wet, but hell, it's not that deep right now. I've heard it gets deep in places, but this section is not that deep. Shin deep at best. But anyway, I'll check this out a little bit before I head back up. All right, I'm walking a flat and descending ridge. The climb up was pretty short. It was steep, but short. Trails gives you a feeling of remoteness, even though I'm not that far away from town. Brevard, North Carolina is not that far away, off of Highway 280. It's a pretty mild day. It's warming up quick. I think it was mid-50s when I left the house, mid-40s when I got to the trailhead, but I think it's a little higher elevation. So the goal is I might try and go up to Black Mountain, see how much time I have. That's where all the mountain bikers go, off 276. You can connect to all kinds of trails here, from South Mills River up to the Pisgah Ranger District. Make all kinds of loops, but I don't have time for that. I'm just on a day hike. So I'm going to be day hiking and backpacking as much as I can here from here on out, to get ready for my spring vacation. If I don't have time for backpacking, I will be day hiking every week. So you'll be seeing videos drop every week, unless something comes up, in which case I can't help that. But I'm going to try and be more consistent. New year, new goals. Hopefully my foot still bothers me from time to time. Hopefully that won't be an issue. But I just got to get out every week and test myself and test my gear. You know, I've hiked so many of the trails in western North Carolina. I've never been here to South Mills River, though. It wasn't really on the radar. It was when I first moved here, but I didn't have a car. Again, I didn't have a car that would make it down that road. So I always wanted to do the trails that have more fame to them, I guess, like the AT, and trails that give you more rewards, like views and waterfalls. This trail is mostly a wooded trail in a green tunnel, but still beautiful. But I've done so many of those trails that are more popular that now I find myself going to the trails that I missed that are a little closer to home, because this is only about 45 minutes from where I live. So I could tick them off. A lot of trails I have to revisit multiple times, which you'll probably see me doing here in the coming weeks. The trail just became really steep, so it's a little bit slow going here. And you know what else? I forgot my damn water. So I'm not going to go all the way to Black Mountain. I'm just going to go up to Wagon Road Gap and maybe head down to the river from there, because looks like I'll be at about 8 miles round trip if I do that. So I don't want to do any more than that without water. I do have a life straw that I haven't used in like 5 years since I did the Art Loeb Trail the first time with a friend. So assuming that should still work, that's all I have. I don't have anything. I didn't bring my Catadine water filter, so that would be a backup. That's why I always bring it for my day hikes, just in case, even though I need to test it and make sure it still flows. But check this out. There's the campsite. Can make it work for 1 or 2 people. 2 people, maybe a couple sharing a tent. Be kind of cramped for 2 tents though. And it's not exactly flat. I think you could put a hammock between trees. Anyway, I was wondering about campsites on this trail in case I wanted to backpack it and do something a little longer than just a short day hike. All right, I've reached the trail intersection with Wagon Road Gap. I'm going to head down to the river 7/10 of a mile, see if those bridges are up and able to be crossed, or safe to be crossed, I should say, in case I want to come back here and do a backpacking loop. Beautiful day today. I think the temperature's going up to the high 60s, so it feels like spring. There's no water on the ridge, but you come down here, get close to the river, and you see lots of streams like this. So, in a pinch, could drink from that with my life straw. But I'm not thirsty yet, so I can usually go a long time without water, as long as it's not too hot outside. What's this? Am I coming upon a campsite up here? Let's check it out here. It looks like an old campsite. Fell into disuse. Real close to the river. You could camp here though. There's lots of potential spots. Let's check out the river. All right, I've come back down to the South Mills River Trail. If I make a right over here, there should be a bridge up ahead. I'm going to check the condition of that bridge, because I'm probably just going to cross the river if it's out, if the river is not too deep. It's because it's going to be a lot quicker to walk the South Mills River Trail rather than going back up the hill, up to the ridge. And that ridge is up and down, so that way I'll make a loop anyway and scout this out a little further. Another bridge out. As the funny thing is that I backpacked the Pink Beds Loop last year. It was the month of April, well before Hurricane Helene. And the bridge down there at Wolf Ford was out back then. So I don't know what their maintenance schedule is out here, but I know there's a lot of other things to be concerned with than repairing bridges across the South Mills River. But still, be nice to have a bridge. I'm probably going to afford this. That river was just too cold and the rocks were too slick to try and cross in bare feet. So I'm going to invest in a pair of water shoes because I don't want to get my new Ultras wet every time I go out on trail, you know, crossing creeks and rivers with them. So I think it'd be a better bet, a good investment to get a pair of water shoes or sandals, you know, something lightweight I could throw in the backpack or day pack to do stuff like this, because like I said, I don't want these things to wear out prematurely, and I don't like hiking in wet trail runners all day. So that's going to be something I'm going to look into.